Hi, this is Helen with the Better Half blog. Thanks for joining me again today. I am going to share with you some simple planning ideas. I wanted to share this topic a while back, but I kind of held off because I was trying to find my functional planning method. As you all know, I have a ton of stuff, ton of hats that I wear throughout one day. And to get all of that into one planner was just very, very difficult for me and the way my brain reads things and functions. If you're a beginner or if you're interested in learning how to plan, but you're not really interested in having multiple journals and notebooks to just get going throughout your day, well, this is that video for you. So keep on watching. On my table, I have multiple journals going on. So you're wondering, wow, Helen, that's a lot of stuff. Well, I'm going to share with you some different ways using different journals to be able to plan on a daily basis and keep coming back for more. Because I think the most important thing as we know it is to keep checking back into our planners, not only on a weekly basis or on a daily basis, but throughout the day. That is the number one tip that I could give you today. So how do we get that going? Well, let's get into these journals. So beginning with the journal that I originally have and I use on a regular basis, I do use a Hobonichi Weeks. If you watched my other videos on my functional planning method, I will link it down below as well as up here on the card. Well, I have this Hobonichi Cousin that I use on a regular basis throughout the day. And the way I use it is just time tracking on this weekly and on my daily. I use it like this, where I have 4 different sections to give me in order, kind of like my navigation throughout the day. One highlight that I absolutely must get done, and it could be as easy as ordering a sofa, because this is something that I put off for many, many weeks that I absolutely wanted to get it done on this day. So that became my highlight of the day. So highlight, we have my tasks, and I typically don't want to go over like 5 to 6 different things in my task section. So I keep it very short in this section because I cannot possibly fit in and squeeze in any more tasks than I have between this, my highlight, and then work time. And down here, my habits, that also covers my goals. If you watch my goal planning video, I'll link it down below as well as up here on the card. And then my reflection of the day, what we did, what I did, my wins and falls, and how can I do things better the next day. So that's what I have currently going on in my daily, and I've just been really diligently keeping up with this. And on the weekends, that's where I fall off, because on the weekends I typically have it easier because I want to relax more. And so I give myself one highlight, and that's pretty much it. And so what I did was I realized I'm going to have to experiment with some planners that I can also showcase to you as well, because I know a lot of you are just getting started and you're looking up different ways to get this functional planning method, but in its simplest form. So let's go and discover some of the different journals that I have here on my table and how you can do things in your own way. Well, I always want to share with you that there are 3 different sections in your planning that is an essential. And number 1 is keeping a running list. What is a running list? These are things that you have to do whenever. Hopefully sooner than later, but it doesn't have a specific day or time that needs to be done. It just needs to be done. And number 2 is a habit list. So as you can see on my other notebook there with the Hobonichi Cousin, I always have a habit list. And that habit list covers some of those habits that I've been wanting to keep in my daily life to reach bigger goals and also reach the goals that I have specifically for this year, 2021. And then there is the third component, which is schedules. How many times do we go through and we plan something out and we're using our daily planners, but then we end up missing an appointment or we're late to an appointment because we're just too planned out that we don't realize that we're missing out on some of the most important schedules. So those schedules are things that, such as appointments or things that are due on a certain day or time. So let's look into this and see the different journals and how we can apply those 3 essential planning areas into these journals. So first, I'm gonna go through with this Moleskine. It's actually a Moleskine pocket size. So if you look at my hand and if you look at my Hobonichi Cousin, it's fairly small. And I am loving this so far. I literally got this in the shipment on Friday. And the reason why I got this is not only to experiment for myself, but I wanted to order one for my daughter. Because my daughter's a senior this year and she's starting to learn how to plan, not only in her study planning, but also she's trying to plan out her days better and also keep up with all the different due dates for college and, you know, submissions and things like that. So she needed a little planner, and I thought that a pocket size would do her best so that she could keep up with this on a daily basis, squeeze it in her backpack, and so on and so forth. So here, this Moleskine is very interesting. This is my first Moleskine ever. This is a special edition, actually. It's the Alice in Wonderland special edition. And there's that beginning page where you could put your name and information if it gets lost. It has that cover page, it's kind of stuck in there. So I decided to have some fun doing a little bit of washi here and there and some stamping to make it fun for me, because I want to come back to this as much as possible, especially on the weekends, because on the weekends I don't want to be looking through this while I'm relaxing and doing most of my cleaning through the weekend. I want to keep something really light and compact around with me so that I can get some of these things done. So let's look at those 3 essential lists. Running list. How would I do it in this? Because when you look at the monthly section, there's not much room to do any of that. I don't have an area where I can put my running list here. And in this one, because it's a daily journal, it doesn't have anywhere in the dailies where I can put a running list for the whole week or the whole month. So it just goes straight into the dailies like this. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, just like that. So how can I keep a running list in a journal like this, a planner like this? I have here with me some sticky notes that I bought at the dollar store. And I love them because they're so cute. They're very sticky, and at the same time, they don't leave any residues, which I love, because some sticky notes, some fancier ones that I have, these leave some residues, and I just been hating that on my journals, because some of the times I just don't like it chunking up through the year, so I just take them off when I'm done with that task or whatever, and they leave a residue. So I love these dollar store ones, and they have different shapes, just to share with you. Okay, so with using those sticky notes, what I would do is I would open up and I would write down my running list for the whole week. And for me, it works best when I have a running list for the week rather than the whole month, because a lot of the times I don't need the whole month to get some of these tasks done, because what happens is I then end up procrastinating on these running lists, and I just keep it going, keep it running. And that's not the point of planning, right? So a running list would be something like an issue that I have at work or at home that I need to get resolved. Another running list would be something like look up insurance. Maybe I've been putting off some of this stuff. Or another running list would be something like get something done for a kid, a child. Maybe you're enrolling your child into some activity and you've just been putting it off. Well, that is a running list. It doesn't have to be done on a specific day, right? You just want to get this done. So these are running lists, and I would take a sticky note and literally I would carry it from one day to the next, just like this, and just check it off as I go. And as I go, I just basically go and cross it off. So it's off my list. This is how I would use it in a journal like this. The second part that we talked about is a habit list. So here I have a star, and this habit list is important because a habit list carries your goals, and not only your goals, but some of those habits that you want to keep on a regular basis. So it could be something so simple as to do laundry on a daily basis. It could be something like exercise, tidy bedroom, right? So for me, one of the things that I do on a regular basis in the morning is to make my bed when I get up. And so tidy bedroom, because sometimes I forget to do that, and my planner will remind me, hey Helen, did you make your bed today? Did you tidy your bedroom this morning? Or did you exercise? Even though exercising is part of my routine, there are days where I skip out on that routine completely because something comes up in the morning that I have to take care of. And so with that, it reminds me. So this is not my habit tracker. It's more of my navigation. It's my reminder to do certain things throughout the day that I really, really want to get done on a regular basis. So these are habits and goals, and I would literally put it, if I'm planning on this day, my to-dos, I would have it like this on the side for a planner like this. And then lastly, the schedules. Schedules, I love to keep my schedules on the top of every planner, whatever planner I am using. So I can use a pink color or a blue color, but have a color set for schedules and appointments versus your things that are due, right, on a specific day. So if, for example, I need to submit some kind of a document on this day, that would be a blue for me, versus a pink would be like a dentist appointment. So that way, you know, as you flip through the days, exactly what is going on that day, and you can see it at a glance. And lastly, my to-dos, right, or tasks. Things that I have to get done on this day specifically, I would then start listing them out. And as I finish them, I would check it off and cross it off. So that's how I would do in this type of a planner. Now let's go into the next planner here. The next planner I have going on here is a Nolty Listy one. And you're familiar with this if you watch my other videos on my planner lineup and so on and so forth. I really, really love this planner, and I used it for multiple different things throughout the year so far, and testing out what works for me in this planner. Now, on this planner, it has the yearly at a glance, and then it has the monthly calendar in 2 pages, which I love because this is a big A5 slim size, and you have plenty of space to write down important dates, schedules, appointments, and due dates here. And then on the weekly section here, it has this vertical setup with plenty of space on the left side and plenty of space on the bottom to do any of your running lists, as well as your habits, as well as any other list that you want to create in this planner on the weekly basis. Now, it doesn't have the daily planner here, but the weekly, if you're one of those who reads the weekly better and you want to see at a glance what's going on throughout your week, well, this is an amazing planner for you. So On this type of a planner, what I would do is I would keep my running list on one side, whether it be on this side or this side. But for me, I prefer to keep it on the left side because when I open up this planner, it's the first thing that I would see. My eyes would see this left side. And so I would keep a running list here. So I would probably do something like this. And at that point, I would have my open issues, things that I have to do throughout the week that I would prefer to get done on this week, but not necessarily on a certain day. So I would keep a running list on this side, and then on the bottom, I would use this to keep my habits and goals. So on the bottom here, I would put my habits and goals. So it could be, if I could just follow this one, it would be laundry, it would be exercise, it would be tidy. And have yourself a mini reminder on a daily basis to keep going back to this. Now, the reason why I don't keep this like a habit tracker versus rewriting on a daily basis is because my effort in rewriting, there's a value in that. It keeps my focus and attention to how much effort I put into this layout that I want to get this done on a regular basis, if that makes sense to you. So in a regular tracker, we typically have our trackers looking like this. It would say laundry, exercise, and you would probably have a running tracker, something like this, right? Where you just check off as you finish a task, and some days you don't. Well, to me, these trackers have not worked for me. And that's probably because my brain doesn't function this way. But when I have a daily written down habits and goals, as much as my effort went into having this spread ready for me for the week, I am actually getting it done on a daily basis. And if I don't do one thing on a certain day, it challenges me to go the next day to make sure that I do exercise because I missed it on Monday. A section of your planner, if you have a planner like this, I absolutely suggest you having a space towards the bottom here. Having a section where you have a reflection moment is very, very critical. As I've been practicing my Create Time functional planner method, I realized the reflection section is where it's really helping me to go forward the next day with a new challenge, new motivation, and not be set back by some of these things that I'm not getting done throughout the day. It's challenging me and it's pushing me forward and saying, hey, Helen, you can do this. Because sometimes the biggest cheerleaders that we have is ourselves. And so utilizing that reflection section to just jot down a couple pointers of what wins you had today and what fails you had today that you can do better tomorrow is such a critical component of any planning. Let's move on to the next type of planner, and this is a bullet journal situation. So I did used to do bullet journal, and I was just looking through my bullet journal from a few years back, and it was very fun to look at it because it captures a lot of my ideas and thoughts in here, and a lot of my crazy drawings because I thought I was an artist, which I'm not. So I am going to flip to an empty page here on a bullet journal, and this is a Leuchtturm journal, 1917. It is a hardcover and it has absolutely nothing but dotted pages on both sides. In a journal like this, this is how I would use on a daily basis. So if it was a Friday here, I would probably stick my running list here because you're not going to want to rewrite on a daily basis your running list. because most likely your running list is not going to be done on this one day. So I keep a running list going, and if I have everything checked off and there's a new thing to do, I would then rewrite and have a new sticky for my running list. But this running list, if I'm planning a Saturday here and I have a Friday date done, I would just stick it on my Friday next to this page and have that running list going for me. My habits and goals, I would most likely have a sectioned off for my habits and goals. And I would write and rewrite on a daily basis. Again, attention, focus, and the effort that you value in getting this done on a daily basis is what's important here. So I would rewrite every single day my habits and goals. I would probably have a section over here for reflection, because I feel that that is absolutely important in any planning. And in the top area over here, again, I would probably use a highlighter or a circle, but something that signifies to me that this is a schedule of some sort. And then this is maybe a due date or something that needs to be done on this day particularly. In my functional planning method, this is what we call highlight. Okay, then I would probably have all my tasks and to-dos here and just go down the line and write down everything that I need to get done on this day. So this is how I would use a bullet journal situation on a daily basis to keep me very highly productive and motivated throughout the day. I hope this really helped you. Now, if you have any questions, let me know. I have different journals to do different types of planning, but in this scenario, just showing you how in simplest forms you can still plan and still be motivated and highly productive to get things done. You don't have to have a fancy cover, you don't have to have this fancy planner, but there's so many different planners and notebooks that you can use to keep yourself going. So I hope this helped. Let me know what you felt throughout the video, and if there are any other videos that you'd like to see me share, I'd love to do so. Thank you and have a good weekend. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.